All right, welcome back, Prospect Live viewers. We're back with another 2020 MLB Draft Team Preview. Joining me today to break down the Washington Nationals, the reigning champions, is Joe Doyle from the site. Joe, recently, the Washington Nationals have loved themselves some college pitching. You can see here on the graphic, I had done some legwork before the show. 42.5 of the 120 picks they've made in the last three drafts have been college pitchers. That is a ton of arms coming into the system every single year. Joe, where do you think they go? Do you think they go back to the college pitching well, particularly at 22?
Yeah, I mean, you're going into a draft that's short and you're going into a draft that's college pitcher heavy. So, do we have any reason to believe that they're going to stray away from that for the 5, 6 picks that they've got here? No, I think, if there's a team that is reasonably cut and dry on assumptions and presumptions for where they're going to go, I think the Nationals and college pitchers this year probably fit that bill. The guy that stands out for me, and we've talked about it, he's a previous Nationals draft pick, is Kole Wilcox out of Georgia. Big, tall, strong righty, two-seamer, four-seamer. Sometimes the two-seamer has sinking action, gets a lot of ground balls, good breaking ball. I think, with the same risk that applies to any other pitcher at this stage, there's some reliever risk, but he's legitimate power reliever risk. He's had some command issues in the past, but I think he started to square those away this year in the abbreviated 2020 season. So we'll see how he progresses in his first couple of years of player development with Washington, presuming they take him. But as far as that first pick goes, Kole Wilcox just feels like a slam dunk.
It does sort of feel like a slam dunk. And I think, any of the college pitchers that are potentially available there, if Wilcox went a little bit earlier, I've heard him rumored in the top 15, but not all that strongly. And I think you probably agree with that. But even if, Wilcox is gone, there's other options. It's probably where they go. They've shown this pattern. I'd be willing to bet that 3 of their 6 picks are probably college pitchers just based on the percentages. Speaking of that, where do you think they potentially go at 55 and 71? They have shown a propensity in, rounds 2, 3, 4 of a normal draft to chase some potential upside bats, whether it's from the college ranks or the prep ranks.
Yeah, I think with 56, I think it's 56, I would bet heavy on college pitcher again. I just think it's the safe bet. And with as deep as this college pitching class is, you're probably going to see a good arm there at that spot. So, maybe a Seth Lonsway or an Ian Bedell or Kyle Nicholas, any of those guys, if they fall to that slot, I think Washington would be more than happy to pick up an arm like that. I think later on in the draft, you could see the Nationals stretch once, maybe an over-under of 1.5 preps in this draft for the Nationals. The guy that I would watch out for would be Harold Cole. I know that they've been pretty interested in Cole, and I know the internet is awfully interested in Harold Cole as well. But there's mutual interest there. He's not going to be the most expensive prep to come off the board, and the jury's kind of out on exactly how high his upside really is. So I think that's a name to look out for later in the draft. But as far as the first 2 picks go, I'd be pretty surprised if they didn't go college pitcher.
Do you think there's maybe a chance in one of those first 3 picks that they go with a college bat? And if they did, who are a couple guys you think potentially could be in play there? If they do mix it up and maybe don't go 3 consecutive college arms, which is certainly possible.
Yeah, I think if they go college bat, like a couple of years ago, they took Drew Mendoza, which was one of my favorite third basemen in the draft. And Mendoza's his profile is kind of that of a high risk, some plate discipline issues that he's had in the past. One guy that seems to be falling in all of these different mock drafts and people that I've talked to is Casey Martin. I don't necessarily know if he's going to make it to 55, but what a sexy pick that would be. Casey Martin to the Nationals. Maybe you throw him at shortstop. Maybe you move him to second base, play him out in center field. He's got the tools to stay up the middle. So I think that would be a college bat to watch for. Kind of that super high upside, but a pretty volatile floor. And that's what they had with Drew Mendoza, and he's really starting to pan out. So maybe that's the route they go.
Yeah, and I think, there's some guys that are available potentially at, pick 55 if they decided to go a hitter that, might slide down. There might be a Foscue available there, and Leka
Mhm.
Williams if they decided to grab somebody up the middle. Even somebody like Sabato, if he was
Yeah.
potentially there at 55, kind of fits some of their mold in terms of the hitters that they chase in the draft. But good stuff, Joe. Thank you for joining me to break down the Washington Nationals. Viewers, thank you for tuning in as we break down the Washington Nationals. That was the Nationals 2020 MLB Draft Team Preview. Do not forget to tune in on draft night, where we will be breaking down all of the day one picks through round one and competitive balance round A.